What would you do if your husband abandoned you while you were dying and his mistress was carrying his other child? At 3 a.m., Claire Bennett flatlined in a hospital bed, pregnant with twins, fighting for her life. Her husband never answered the phone, but his billionaire rival did. He showed up. He saved her. And what happens next will make your heart race, break, and heal all at once. This is a story of betrayal, revenge, survival, and a woman's powerful comeback. From being left for dead to building an empire and finding real love in the most unexpected place. Stay until the end, because you won't believe how justice is finally served. If you enjoy stories of strength, redemption, and second chances, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, so you never miss the next jaw-dropping story. The flatline alarm screamed through the hospital room like a wounded animal. Claire Bennett's hand reached across the cold sheets, searching for her husband in the darkness. Her fingers found only empty space where Derek should have been sitting, wincing. Should have been holding her hand, should have been there. "Mrs. Bennett, we're losing the heartbeat." Dr. Patricia Morgan's voice cut through the fog of pain medication. "We need to do an emergency C-section. Right now, where is your husband?" Claire tried to focus on the doctor's face. Everything blurred at the edges. The babies. Oh God. The babies. 32 weeks. Too early. Way too early. "Call him." Claire's voice came out strangled. "Please, call Derek." The nurse grabbed Claire's phone from the bedside table. Her fingers moved across the screen. The phone rang. Once, twice, 3 times, voicemail. Derek's voice, cheerful and distant, filled the small room. "Hey, this is Derek Bennett. Leave a message and I'll get back to you." "Mr. Bennett, this is County General Hospital. Your wife is experiencing a medical emergency. We need you here immediately." The nurse hung up, dialed again. Ring, 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 voicemail. Claire's monitor screeched, the numbers dropping, red lights flashing everywhere. "Try again," Claire whispered. Her hand pressed against her swollen belly. She could feel them in there. Grace and Henry, that's what she'd picked. Grace Eleanor and Henry James. Derek said he liked those names. Derek said a lot of things. The nurse called a third time, a fourth, a fifth. Nothing. Dr. Morgan leaned over Claire, her face grave. "Mrs. Bennett, we are out of time. Your blood pressure is dropping dangerously low. Baby A's heart rate is decelerating. We need consent for emergency surgery, and we need it now." "He'll answer." Claire heard herself say it. "He always answers. He's probably in the shower, or maybe his phone died. He'll answer." The nurse kept calling. 6, 7, 8. With each unanswered ring, something inside Claire cracked. Small fractures at first, then bigger, then something that felt like her entire foundation splitting apart. "Mrs. Bennett," Morgan's hand gripped at Claire's shoulder. "I need you to understand the situation. Your placenta is abrupting. That means it's separating from your uterine wall. Your babies are not getting oxygen. Every second we wait increases the risk of permanent brain damage or death. For them and for you." Death. The word hung in the air like smoke. Claire's hand found her belly again. "My babies. We can save them, but we have to move now. Derek is not here." Dr. Morgan's voice softened. "I'm sorry, but he's not here and your babies are dying." The door burst open. Claire's head turned, hope flaring bright and desperate. Derek, finally, thank God. But it wasn't Derek. Nathan Grayson stood in the doorway, still wearing his suit from whatever business dinner he'd been attending. His dark hair disheveled, his eyes sharp and focused despite the late hour. Derek's biggest business competitor, the man Derek called that tech vulture at every opportunity. "What are you doing here?" Claire managed to ask. "Your friend Becca called me." Nathan crossed the room in 3 strides. "She said you needed help. She could not reach Derek. Neither could I." "You called Derek?" 17 times in the last 40 minutes. Nathan's jaw clenched. He's not answering. 17 times. Claire had watched the nurse call maybe 10, which meant Nathan had been trying to reach her husband before the nurse even started. "Mr. Grayson, with all due respect, you're not family." De Morgan glanced at the monitors. "I need someone with legal authority." I'm here to provide that authority. Nathan pulled papers from his jacket. My lawyers are filing emergency medical power of attorney. Hospital Legal is reviewing it now. I'm on your board of directors. I will take full responsibility for any decisions made here tonight. That's not how this works. Then let's discuss how this works while Mrs. Bennett and her babies die. Nathan's voice dropped to something cold and lethal. Or we can save their lives and sort out the paperwork later. De Morgan looked at Claire. Mrs. Bennett, it's your choice, but we're out of time. Claire stared at Nathan, this man who Derek hated, this stranger who'd shown up when her own husband wouldn't answer the phone. Why? The word came out broken. Why would you do this? Something flickered across Nathan's face. Old pain, old rage, because someone should be here. And I am. The monitor shrieked louder, longer. Do it, Claire heard herself say. Save my babies, please. Dr. Morgan nodded. Prep or two, now, move the people, move. They wheeled Claire toward the doors. She grabbed Nathan's hand without thinking. Don't leave. I won't. Promise. I promise. As they pushed through the doors, Claire saw her phone light up on the bedside table. Derek's name on the screen, finally calling back. But it was too late. The doors swung closed, and Claire went under, not knowing if she'd ever wake up. Rebecca Sullivan caught Nathan in the hallway outside the operating room. Her nursing scrubs wrinkled from a double shift, her eyes red from crying. Thank you. Becca's voice cracked. Thank you for coming. Where is he? Nathan asked. Where's Derek? I don't know. I called him first, maybe 20 times. Then I called his mother. She said he probably just needed some space. Space while his wife and babies are dying. Becca wiped her eyes. I couldn't think of anyone else. Tom's out of town on business. My mom's watching our kids. I remembered you gave Claire your card at that charity gala 6 months ago. You said if she ever needed anything. Nathan remembered. Derek had been furious about that, made a scene, accused Nathan of hitting on his pregnant wife. Claire had been mortified, apologized profusely. Nathan had simply smiled and walked away, but he'd meant what he said. If Claire ever needed anything, he just never imagined it would be this. Mr. Grayson, a young man in a suit, approached. I'm David Collins from Hospital Legal. We've reviewed your emergency filing. The board is backing you. You're clear to make medical decisions. Good. There is one thing. David hesitated. Mr. Bennett is still the legal husband. If he shows up and contests, let him try. Nathan's voice went flat. He ignored 17 calls while his wife coded. That's abandonment. I have lawyers who can argue that in their sleep. David nodded and disappeared. Nathan sank into a plastic chair outside the OR. The same kind of chair he'd sat in 5 years ago. Different hospital, different city, same helpless feeling. His phone buzzed, his assistant, Marcus. I'm at the restaurant, Marcus said. You were right. Derek Bennett is here, with a woman. They're drinking champagne. Nathan closed his eyes. Get pictures, timestamps, everything. Already done. Boss, there's more. She's pregnant. Showing. The hallway tilted. How far along? I'd guess 6 months, maybe more. 6 months. Claire was 8 months pregnant with twins, which meant Derek had gotten another woman pregnant while his wife carried his children. Get me everything, Nathan said quietly. Every receipt, every text, every email. I want to know what Derek Bennett had for breakfast 3 years ago. On it. Nathan hung up and stared at the OR doors. Behind those doors, a woman fought for her life because the man who promised to love her chose champagne over answering his phone. Nathan had seen a lot of cruelty in the business world, watched competitors destroy each other without mercy. But this was something else. The doors opened. Dr. Morgan appeared, still in surgical gear. They're alive, she said, all 3 of them. Nathan's knees buckled. He caught himself on the chair. They're okay? Baby A is a girl, 4 pounds, 2 ounces. Baby B is a boy, 4 pounds even. Both breathing on their own, which is remarkable for 32 weeks. Mrs. Bennett lost a significant amount of blood, but she's stable. Can I see them? De Morgan studied him. Mr. Grayson, I need to ask, what's your relationship to Mrs. Bennett? Honestly? Nathan ran a hand through his hair. Until tonight, I was just someone who gave her a business card at a charity event. Her husband hates me. We're competitors. But I'm the one who showed up. So I guess that makes me whatever she needs me to be. Dr. Morgan's expression softened. The babies are in the NICU. Mrs. Bennett will be in recovery for a few hours. You can see the babies now if you'd like. Nathan followed her through a maze of hallways to the neonatal intensive care unit, scrubbed his hands, put on a gown, felt his heart hammering against his ribs. The NICU stretched out before him. Incubators lined the walls. Tiny babies inside. Monitors beeping. Nurses moving quietly between stations. Here, Dr. Morgan said, this is Grace and Henry. Nathan looked down at two of the smallest humans he'd ever seen. Impossibly tiny. Impossibly perfect. Tubes and wires covering their fragile bodies. But their chests rose and fell. Steady. Strong. Hi, Nathan whispered. He didn't know why he was talking to them. They couldn't hear him through the incubator. But he talked anyway. Hi, Grace. Hi, Henry. I'm Nathan. I'm just someone who was here tonight. Your mom is incredible. She fought so hard for you, both of you. Grace's eyes moved beneath closed lids. Henry's tiny hand opened and closed. She's going to be okay, Nathan continued. You're all going to be okay. I'm going to make sure of it. He didn't know he meant it until he said it. But once the words were out, Nathan knew they were true. He'd make sure Claire and her babies were okay, no matter what it cost him. Claire woke to beeping, different beeping than before, steadier, calmer. She tried to open her eyes. Her lids felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds each. The babies? Her voice came out like sandpaper. Perfect. Becca's face appeared above her. You did it, Claire. Two beautiful babies, Grace and Henry. They're fighters. Relief crashed over Claire so hard she couldn't breathe. I want to see them. Soon. You lost a lot of blood. They want you stable first. Becca squeezed her hand. But they're okay. 4 pounds each, breathing on their own. The doctors are amazed. Where's Derek? Becca's face changed. Something shuddered behind her eyes. Claire, where is my husband? He's not here. Still, it's been hours. Claire tried to sit up. Pain screamed through her abdomen. Did someone call him? Does he know? He knows. Becca's voice went cold. He called back, once, while you were in surgery. What did he say? Claire, maybe we should wait. What did he say, Becca? Becca pulled out Claire's phone. Her hand shook as she turned the screen toward Claire. One text message, sent while Claire was on the operating table, while her babies were being cut from her body, while she bled out on a surgical table. Derek, I can't do this anymore. My lawyer will contact you. I'm sorry. Claire stared at the words, read them twice, 3 times, tried to make them mean something other than what they meant. There's more, Becca whispered. I'm so sorry, Claire, but there's more. She scrolled down. A photo appeared. Derek, Vanessa Hartley, his assistant, sitting at an expensive restaurant, champagne glasses on the table, Derek's hand on Vanessa's stomach, her very obviously pregnant stomach, both of them smiling at the camera like they didn't have a care in the world. Claire's brain refused to process it. When was this taken? Becca zoomed in on the newspaper visible on the table. Today's date, today's headline. He was there, Claire heard herself say, while I was dying. While the babies were dying, he was drinking champagne. Nathan went there after the surgery. He had someone take pictures. Derek's still there, Claire. He's still at that restaurant. The room spun, not from blood loss, from the truth. How long? Claire asked. The pregnancy. How far along is she? I don't know. Guess. Becca closed her eyes. 6 months, maybe more. 6 months. Claire did the math. She'd announced her pregnancy 11 months ago, which meant Derek had gotten Vanessa pregnant within months of learning his wife was expecting twins. He knew, Claire whispered. He knew I was pregnant, and he got her pregnant anyway. Claire, how many calls? The question came from somewhere cold inside her. How many times did people try to reach him tonight? I stopped counting at 25. 25 phone calls, while she coded, while her baby's heart stopped beating. While a stranger signed papers to save her life because her husband was busy celebrating with another woman, with his other baby. Claire's hand moved to her deflated stomach. The babies were gone. Not dead, thank God, but gone. Cut out of her, and Derek hadn't been there for any of it. Mrs. Bennett, a nurse appeared. Your blood pressure is spiking. I need you to calm down. My blood pressure is spiking because my husband abandoned me. Claire's voice didn't shake. That seemed wrong somehow. Shouldn't she be crying? Shouldn't she be falling apart? But she wasn't falling apart. She was turning into something else. Something hard and cold and done with being nice. Ma'am, I really need you to breathe. Where's Nathan? Mr. Grayson is with your babies. He's been there since you got out of the surgery. How long ago was that? The nurse checked her watch. 6 hours. 6 hours. Nathan Grayson, a man who owed her nothing, had spent 6 hours with her newborn babies while their own father drank champagne with his mistress. I want to see him, Claire said. Mr. Grayson? My babies. I want to see my babies. The nurse glanced at Becca. The doctor needs to clear her first. I don't care what the doctor needs. Claire pulled out her IV with shaking hands. Those are my children. I almost died bringing them into this world. I am seeing them now. Mrs. Bennett, you can't watch me. Claire swung her legs over the side of the bed. The room tilted violently. Becca caught her before she fell. Okay, Becca said. Okay, we'll get you a wheelchair. But if you pass out, I'm telling the doctor you threatened me. Deal. 5 minutes later, Claire sat in a wheelchair being pushed through hallways that smelled like antiseptic and old coffee. Every bump sent pain shooting through her abdomen. She didn't care. The NICU doors opened. A nurse smiled at her. Mrs. Bennett, your babies are beautiful. Thank you. They wheeled her to 2 incubators. Claire's breath caught in her throat. There they were, Grace and Henry, impossibly tiny, impossibly perfect. Tubes and wires everywhere, but their chests rising and falling steadily. Can I touch them? Claire asked. Of course, let me help you scrub in. The nurse helped Claire wash her hands and put on a sterile gown. Then she opened the incubator ports. Claire's hands shook as she reached inside. Her fingers brushed Grace's impossibly soft skin. The baby's eyes opened, dark and alert. Hi, baby girl, Claire whispered. Hi, Grace. I'm your mama. I'm so sorry I couldn't hold you right away. I'm so sorry. Grace's tiny hand wrapped around Claire's finger. That grip, that impossibly strong grip from something so small. Claire's chest cracked open, not from pain, from love so huge it felt like dying and being reborn at the same time. You're perfect, Claire told her daughter. You're absolutely perfect. She moved to Henry's incubator, repeated the process. His eyes opened too, same dark eyes, same alert expression. Hi, Henry. Hi, sweet boy. Mama's here now. Mama's here. They know you, a voice said. Claire looked up. Nathan stood a few feet away, still wearing the same board from earlier. His hair messy, his eyes exhausted, but present. You stayed, Claire said. I promised. You didn't have to. Yes, I did. Nathan moved closer. I told them about you while you were in surgery. I told them their mother was the strongest person I'd ever met. I told them to hold on because you were fighting for them. And you did. You all did. Tears finally came, hot and fast and unstoppable. Thank you. Thank you for being here when she couldn't finish. I know. They sat in silence, Claire's hands inside the incubators, Nathan standing guard like a sentinel. Finally, Claire asked the question burning a hole in her chest. Did you see him, Derek? Yes. Was she really pregnant? Yes. How far along? Nathan hesitated. 6 months, maybe a little more. The numbers confirmed what Claire already knew. Derek had been planning this for a long time. The late nights, the distance, the way he pulled away when she reached for him in bed. All of it made sense now. I'm sorry, Nathan said. I'm sorry he did this to you. Don't be sorry, Claire's voice hardened. Just tell me everything. I want to know exactly what he's been doing. How bad the betrayal goes. All of it. Nathan pulled out his phone. My investigators worked fast. You should know, Claire, it's not just the affair. What else? Your savings are gone. Derek withdrew everything 3 months ago. $400,000. Claire's world tilted. That's not possible. I would have seen he forged your signature on the withdrawal forms. My lawyers are getting copies as we speak. Forged my... Claire couldn't breathe. Why? Why would he steal from me? Gambling debts, bad investments. He's been hemorrhaging money for over a year. The house is mortgaged 3 times over. Your credit cards are maxed out. You're not just broke, Claire. You're in debt. Serious debt. The babies, the house, her entire life. Gone. How much debt? $2.3 million. The number didn't make sense. Couldn't make sense. That's impossible. I have the documents. Nathan pulled them up on his phone. Statement after statement. Credit cards she'd never opened. Loans she'd never approved. All in her name. All signed with her forged signature. He destroyed me, Claire whispered. He didn't just leave. He destroyed me. No. Nathan's voice cut through her panic. He tried to destroy you, but I'm not going to let that happen. You can't just... I already did. Nathan pulled out more papers. I bought all of Derek's debt. Every dollar. It's mine now. Which means you owe me not a dozen different creditors. Claire stared at him. Why would you do that? Because Derek shouldn't win, and because you deserve a fighting chance. I can't pay you back. Not $2 million. I don't want you to pay me back. Nathan sat down beside her. I want Derek to pay, and he will. Trust me. The NICU doors opened. Claire looked up, expecting a nurse. Derek stood there instead. Expensive suit, cologne, hair perfectly styled like he'd just come from a business meeting instead of abandoning his dying family. Claire. His voice wrong, hollow, like he was reading lines from a script. Thank God you're okay. Every muscle in Claire's body went rigid. Get out. Those are my children. Get out. Becca appeared, blocking his path. Now. She's my wife. I have a right to be here. Do you? Nathan stood. Because last I checked, you ignored 25 phone calls while she died. Where were you, Derek? Where exactly were you while your wife and babies almost died? Derek's face flushed. That's none of your business. Isn't it? Nathan pulled out his phone. Should we show Claire the pictures? You and Vanessa, toasting with champagne while doctors cut your children from your wife's body? Derek's face went pale. How did you? It doesn't matter how. Nathan stepped closer. Dangerous. Controlled. What matters is that you're done. I own your debt. I own your house. I own every bad decision you've made for the last 2 years. And now I'm going to destroy you. You can't. Check your phone. Nathan's smile never reached his eyes. My lawyer sent the paperwork an hour ago. You're finished, Derek. The only question now is how badly. Derek's hands shook as he pulled out his phone. Scrolled. His face went from pale to gray. This isn't legal. It's completely legal. I have 5 attorneys who'd love to explain it to you. In court, in front of a judge. While we discuss your forged signatures in embezzlement and abandonment of your dying wife. The room went silent, just monitors beeping, babies breathing. Claire found her voice. Cold, clear, done. Get out, Derek. Get out of this hospital. Get out of my life. And if you ever come near my children again, without a court order, I will destroy you myself. Derek opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Now, Claire said. He left. The doors swung closed behind him. Claire stared at them, waiting to feel something, anything, relief, anger, sadness. But she felt nothing, just cold, clear certainty. Her marriage was over, her life was destroyed, but her babies were alive. And somehow that was enough. For now, dawn light crept through the NICU windows. Claire hadn't moved from the chair between the 2 incubators. Her hands rested inside both, one finger in each baby's grip. Grace had fallen asleep, holding her. Henry kept opening his eyes, checking she was still there. Mrs. Bennett. A new doctor appeared, younger than Dr. Morgan, kinder eyes. I'm Dr. Emily Carter. I'll be managing the twins' care. Are they okay? The question never got old, never stopped being the most important thing in the world. Better than okay. Their oxygen levels are excellent. No signs of respiratory distress. Honestly, they're doing better than most 32-weekers. Dr. Carter checked the monitors. You did well, Mama. Getting them to 32 weeks is no small feat. I didn't do anything special. You kept them alive while your placenta tried to kill you. I'd call that special. Dr. Carter smiled. We'll need to keep them here for a few weeks. Standard protocol for preemies. But they're fighters. How long? If they keep progressing like this, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. Depends on feeding and weight gain. 6 weeks in the hospital. 6 weeks of watching them through plastic. 6 weeks before she could bring them home. Except she didn't have a home anymore. Nathan said he bought it, but that didn't make it hers. Nothing was hers anymore. Mrs. Bennett? Dr. Carter touched her shoulder gently. Your blood pressure is still elevated. You need rest. I'm not leaving them. I'm not asking you to, but you can't heal if you don't sleep. We have parent rooms, small but private, right down the hall. You'd be 2 minutes away. Claire's body screamed at her. The surgery, the blood loss, the emotional devastation. Everything hurt. Okay, she whispered, but if anything changes, someone will get you immediately, I promise. Dr. Carter helped Claire stand. Every movement sent fire through her abdomen. Becca appeared with a wheelchair. I'm staying with you, Becca announced. Tom got home this morning. He's with the kids. I'm not leaving you alone. Becca, you've been here all night, and I'll be here all day and tomorrow until you kick me out. Becca's voice broke. You're my best friend, Claire. You don't get to go through this alone. They wheeled Claire to a small room down the hall, a twin bed, a chair, a window overlooking the parking lot. That's it. But it was private, quiet. Claire collapsed onto the bed. Her phone buzzed. 17 missed calls. Her mother. Derek's mother, Margaret. Unknown numbers. Messages stacking up. She ignored all of them except one. Tom Sullivan, Becca's husband. Her attorney now, apparently. Tom. I'm filing divorce papers this morning. Emergency custody hearing scheduled for next week. Don't talk to Derek or his family without me present. I mean it. Claire typed back. Thank you. His response came immediately. He doesn't get to win. We won't let him. Claire set the phone down, closed her eyes, tried to sleep, but her mind wouldn't stop. Derek's face at the restaurant, Vanessa's pregnant belly, the text message sent while Claire bled out, the forged signatures, the stolen money. $2.3 million in debt she'd never agreed to. How long had he been planning this? When did he decide his wife and babies weren't enough? When did he choose Vanessa over the family he'd promised to build? Claire, Becca's voice soft, stop thinking. I can't. I know, but you need sleep. Your body needs to heal. My body is fine. My life is destroyed. Your life is changed, not destroyed. Becca sat on the edge of the bed. You have Grace and Henry. You have people who love you. You have Nathan Grayson willing to burn Derek's entire world to the ground. Why is he doing this? He doesn't know me. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's easier to help a stranger than someone you're supposed to love. Becca paused. Tom looked into him. Nathan Grayson, did you know he had a daughter? He mentioned it. Last night. She died. Yeah, Sophia Grace Grayson, born at 30 weeks. Lived 6 days. Heart defect the doctors missed. His wife left him 3 days after the funeral. Filed for divorce saying he was too depressed, too broken. Claire's chest tightened. That's horrible. Tom thinks that's why he showed up. Not because of you specifically, because he knows what it's like to be alone in a NICU, watching your baby fight, having nobody there. So I'm just a proxy for his dead daughter? Or maybe you're someone who needed help and he was in a position to give it. Becca squeezed her hand. Does it matter why? He saved your life, Claire. He saved Grace and Henry. Whatever his reasons, he did that. She was right. Nathan's motivations didn't matter. The outcome did. 3 lives saved. 1 marriage destroyed. 1 future uncertain. Claire's phone buzzed again. Margaret Bennett this time. Derek's mother. Margaret, how dare you keep my son from his children? Those babies need their father. I'm coming to the hospital. Claire showed Becca. Can she do that? Let her try. Becca's eyes flashed. Tom already filed a restraining order against Derek and Margaret. Judge will rule on it tomorrow. A restraining order? Isn't that extreme? Derek stole $2 million from you using forged signatures. That's fraud. That's identity theft. And Margaret's been calling everyone we know, telling them you trapped her son, that you probably got pregnant on purpose, that Derek deserves happiness with Vanessa. White-hot rage flooded Claire's chest. She said, "What?" "Tom has recordings, voicemails she left on my phone. On your mother's phone. She's building a narrative where you're the villain and Derek's the victim." "I'm the victim. I'm the one who almost died." "I know. And that's exactly what we're going to prove in court." Becca stood. "But right now, you need sleep. Real sleep. I'll stand guard. If anyone tries to bother you, they'll have to go through me first." Claire wanted to argue, but her body had other ideas. The exhaustion crashed over her like a wave. Her eyes closed despite her best efforts. She dreamed of flatline alarms, of Derek's face disappearing into champagne bubbles, of tiny hands gripping her fingers, of Nathan standing guard over incubators like some kind of avenging angel. When she woke, afternoon light streamed through the window, voices outside her door. She needs rest. Becca, firm. "I need to see my daughter-in-law." Margaret Bennett, imperious. "Those babies need their grandmother. Those babies need their mother healthy. You can wait." "I've been waiting for hours." "Then wait longer." Claire sat up too fast. Pain screamed through her abdomen. She bit back a cry. The door opened. Margaret swept in before Becca could stop her. 62 years old, perfectly styled gray hair, pearls, Chanel suit, lavender perfume that filled the small room like poison. "Claire," Margaret's voice dripped false sympathy. "Oh, you poor thing, this must be so hard for you." "Get out." Claire's voice came out steady, cold. "I understand you're upset. Get out. Those babies are my grandchildren. I have a right." "You have no rights." Claire stood. Every instinct screamed at her to sit down, but she stood anyway. "Your son abandoned me while I died. He stole from me. He got another woman pregnant while I carried his children. And you're here defending him?" "Derek made mistakes." "Mistakes?" Claire stepped closer. "Mistakes are forgetting an anniversary. Mistakes are leaving the toilet seat up. What Derek did was calculated, planned. Every phone call he ignored, every dollar he stole, every lie he told. Choices, not mistakes." Margaret's face flushed. "You always were dramatic. I coded on an operating table while your son drank champagne. My baby's almost died because he couldn't be bothered to answer his phone. Where were you, Margaret? Where were you when I needed someone? Anyone? I didn't know." "You knew." Claire's voice rose. "Becca called you 20 times. You said Derek needed space. Space while his wife died." Margaret opened her mouth. Nothing came out. "I want you to leave," Claire continued. "I want you to leave this hospital. Leave me alone. Leave my children alone. And if you ever defend Derek's narcissistic abuse again, I will make sure everyone knows exactly what kind of mother raises a man who abandons his dying wife." The words hit like slaps. Narcissistic abuse. Claire had never used that term before. Never really thought about what Derek's behavior meant. But hearing it now, saying it out loud, something clicked into place. This wasn't about making mistakes. This was about control. About Derek doing whatever he wanted while expecting Claire to smile and accept it. About making her feel crazy for questioning obvious lies. About destroying her financially so she'd be trapped. Narcissistic abuse. The words fit like a key in a lock. "You're being hysterical," Margaret tried. "The hormones." Security. Nathan's voice cut through the room. He stood in the doorway with 2 hospital security guards. "Mrs. Margaret Bennett is to be removed from the premises. She's not welcome here." "You have no authority," Margaret started. "Actually, I do. I'm on the hospital board of directors. And Mrs. Claire Bennett has requested you leave. So you're leaving. Now." The security guards moved forward. Margaret backed toward the door, her face purple with rage. "This isn't over," she hissed at Claire. "Derek will fight for his children. And he'll win." "Let him try," Claire said. "Let him try to explain to a judge why he ignored 25 phone calls while his babies died. Let him explain the forged signatures, the stolen money, the mistress he got pregnant. Margaret opened her mouth. Let him try, Claire repeated. Harder. Final. Margaret left. The lavender perfume lingered like a bad memory. Claire's legs gave out. Nathan caught her before she hit the floor. I've got you, he said quietly. I've got you. And for some reason, Claire believed him. 5 days in the hospital, 5 days of shuffling between her room and the NICU, 5 days of watching Grace and Henry through plastic while her body slowly healed and her marriage officially died. Tom had filed the divorce papers. Derek contested them immediately, demanding joint custody and claiming Claire was mentally unstable. His lawyer argued that her postpartum state made her unfit, that Nathan's involvement proved an inappropriate relationship. The narcissistic abuse continued, even from a distance. But Claire was learning something. She was stronger than she thought, stronger than Derek ever wanted her to be. Mrs. Bennett? Dr. Carter appeared with a smile. Good news, Grace and Henry are ready for kangaroo care. Claire's heart jumped. Really? Really, they're stable enough, and honestly, they need you. Skin-to-skin contact helps preemies regulate temperature and breathing. It's good for both of you. 10 minutes later, Claire sat in a rocking chair between the incubators. The nurse carefully lifted Grace from her plastic home. So tiny, so impossibly light. Placed her against Claire's bare chest. Just a diaper and a blanket covering them both. Grace's skin against hers. Warm, soft, real. Claire's tears came immediately. Hi, baby girl. Hi, Grace. Mama's got you now. Grace's breathing changed, steadied. Her tiny hand pressed against Claire's chest, right over her heart. She knows you, the nurse said softly. Her heart rate just stabilized. See? Claire looked at the monitor. The nurse was right. Grace's numbers evened out. Oxygen perfect. Heart rate steady. Temperature rising. Can I talk to her? You should. They know your voice from the womb. It comforts them. So Claire talked. About everything, about nothing, about how sorry she was that Grace had to come early, about how much she already loved her, about how they'd be okay. Somehow they'd be okay. After 30 minutes, they switched, Henry against her chest now. Same immediate response. His breathing steadied, his heart rate evened, his whole tiny body relaxed. Hi, Henry, Claire whispered. Hi, sweet boy. You're so strong. Both of you are so strong. The NICU door opened. Nathan entered with coffee. He stopped when he saw her holding Henry. I can come back, he said quickly. No, stay. Claire smiled. He's beautiful, isn't he? Nathan moved closer, looked down at Henry. Something crossed his face, pain, wonder, loss. He's perfect, Nathan said quietly. They both are. Did you hold Sophia before she... Nathan was quiet for a long time. Yes, every day. She was so small, like Grace and Henry, but she had this personality already. She'd grip my finger and wouldn't let go, like she knew I was her dad. I'm sorry you lost her. Me too. Nathan sat in the chair beside her. But that's why I'm here. Why I'll keep being here. Because Sophia can't have the life she deserved. But Grace and Henry can, and I'm going to make sure they do. They sat in comfortable silence. Henry fell asleep against Claire's chest, his breathing deep and even. The monitors played their steady rhythm. Nathan, Claire said carefully, why did your wife really leave after Sophia died? His jaw clenched. The truth? She blamed me, said I should have noticed something was wrong, should have pushed the doctors harder, should have saved our daughter. That's not fair. No, but grief isn't fair. And Melissa wasn't... He paused. She wasn't capable of anything that wasn't about her. Everything was how she felt, how she suffered, how my sadness made her uncomfortable. Claire understood. Derek was like that. Everything was always about him. His stress, his needs. When I got pregnant with the twins, he acted excited. But I could see it, the resentment, like I'd done something to him. Did he want you to terminate? He never said it directly, but he kept mentioning how expensive twins would be, how life would change, how we should consider all our options. Claire looked down at Henry. I told him we were keeping them, Both of them. He said okay, but after that, he pulled away. That's when he started with Vanessa. I think so. Tom's investigators found hotel receipts going back 14 months, credit card charges at restaurants I'd never been to, jewelry I never received. He was building a whole other life. While I planned for our babies, decorated the nursery, bought double of everything, stupidly believing my husband loved me. The words tasted bitter. Nathan reached over, squeezed her hand. You weren't stupid. You were trusting. There's a difference. Is there? Because I feel pretty stupid now. Look at me. Nathan waited until she met his eyes. Derek is a coward and a narcissist who couldn't handle anything that wasn't about him. Melissa was the same way. People like that will always blame everyone else, always play victim, always rewrite history to make themselves the hero. What do we do about them? We win. Nathan's smile turned sharp. We take everything they thought they'd keep and we burn it to the ground. Legally, methodically, completely. That sounds like revenge. No, revenge is emotional. This is justice. There's a difference. The nurse came to take Henry back to his incubator. Claire reluctantly handed him over, already missing his weight against her chest. How long are you planning to stay? Claire asked Nathan. In town, I mean. You must have a business to run. I work remotely. My assistant handles most of the day-to-day, and honestly, Nathan shrugged. I don't have anything else. No family, no kids, just work. I'd rather be here. That's sad. Maybe. Or maybe it means I get to choose my family now. He gestured to the incubators. Maybe I get to be Uncle Nathan to two kids who need one. Claire's throat tightened. You'd do that? I'm already doing it. I've been here every day, talking to them, reading to them, learning how to change micro-preemie diapers, which is terrifying, by the way. Claire laughed, actually laughed, first time in days. There it is, Nathan said softly. Your smile. I was starting to think Derek destroyed that too. He tried, but I'm still here, scarred, broke, facing a brutal divorce, but still here. Not broke. Nathan pulled out papers. I talked to Tom. We restructured everything. The house is yours, free and clear. I forgave the mortgages. The credit card debt is being handled. Derek's going to prison for fraud and identity theft. Claire's breath caught. Prison? Federal charges, forging signatures, wire fraud, identity theft. He's looking at 5 to 10 years if convicted. And he will be convicted. The evidence is overwhelming. What about Vanessa and their baby? That's up to Vanessa. But between you and me, Nathan leaned closer. My investigators talked to her. She's cooperating, willing to testify against Derek. Turns out he's been lying to her too, about everything. She's going to testify against him? At the custody hearing, about the lies, the manipulation, the financial abuse. She's 6 months pregnant, Claire. Derek got her pregnant and then got you pregnant. He was juggling 2 families, planning to keep both of you. The audacity, the sheer narcissistic delusion of thinking he could manage 2 pregnant women simultaneously. What did he think would happen? Claire asked. People like Derek don't think that far ahead. They just take what they want and expect everyone to deal with the consequences. Nathan's voice went cold. But there are consequences, and Derek's about to learn that the hard way. That night, alone in her room, Claire opened her laptop, started Googling narcissistic abuse, financial abuse, gaslighting, red flags she'd missed. The articles read like her life, every description matched, every warning sign she'd ignored. Does your partner blame you for their mistakes? Yes. Derek always found a way to make his late nights, his distance, his anger her fault. Do they gaslight you when you question obvious lies? Yes. Hotel receipts were work trips. Missing money was a banking error. Lipstick on his collar was from a client hug. Do they isolate you from friends and family? Yes. Slowly, subtly, until Claire's world was just Derek and work and the babies. Do they make financial decisions without your consent? God, yes. All of it. Every forged signature, every stolen dollar. Claire read until 3 in the morning. Read until the patterns became undeniable. Read until she understood that this wasn't her fault. None of it was her fault. Derek was a narcissist, a financial abuser, a manipulator, and she'd survived him. That thought settled in her chest like armor. She'd survived not just the medical crisis, but years of emotional manipulation, of being made to feel small and stupid and ungrateful. She'd survived all of it. And now she was going to thrive. Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "This is Vanessa. Can we talk?" Claire stared at the message. Every instinct screamed to delete it, block the number, pretend it never came. But something stopped her. Vanessa was pregnant, alone, probably terrified, just like Claire had been 5 days ago. Claire typed, "Tomorrow, 2 p.m., hospital cafeteria." The response came immediately. "Thank you." Claire set down her phone, closed her laptop, stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow she'd meet her husband's mistress, the woman carrying his other baby, the woman he'd chosen over his dying wife. And somehow Claire wasn't afraid. She was curious. Because maybe, just maybe, they were on the same side after all. Vanessa Hartley looked younger than 28, smaller. She sat in the hospital cafeteria wearing an oversized sweater that didn't quite hide her pregnant belly, dark circles under red-rimmed eyes, hands wrapped around a cup of tea she wasn't drinking. Claire spotted her from across the room. Every muscle tensed. This was the woman Derek chose, the woman he celebrated with while Claire bled out, the woman carrying his daughter while Claire fought to save his twins. But looking at her now, Claire saw something else. Fear. Exhaustion. The same haunted expression Claire saw in her own mirror. "Mrs. Bennett," Vanessa stood as Claire approached. "Thank you for meeting me. I wasn't sure you would." "I almost didn't." Claire sat down carefully, the surgical incision still pulled. "But I'm curious. Why did you want to talk?" "To apologize. And to warn you." "Apologize for what? Sleeping with my husband? Getting pregnant with his baby? Helping him celebrate while I almost died?" Vanessa flinched. "All of it. I know nothing I say will make it right, but I need you to hear the truth. I need someone to know." "Know what?" "That he lied to me too. About everything." Claire studied her, looking for deception, finding only desperation. "Tell me," Claire said. Vanessa took a shaky breath. "Derek hired me 14 months ago. I was his assistant. He was charming, attentive, always asking about my life, my dreams, making me feel special." "When did it start?" 3 months after I started. He said you two were having problems, that you'd grown apart, that you didn't love him anymore, that the pregnancy was an accident." Vanessa's voice broke. "He showed me text, said you were cold, distant, that he was trapped in a loveless marriage." "I never sent those texts." "I know that now, but I believed him then. I thought I was saving him from something terrible. I thought—" She stopped. "I thought I was the good guy in this story." Claire's hands clenched around her coffee cup. "When did you get pregnant?" 6 months ago. We'd been together 8 months at that point. He said he loved me, that he'd leave you after the twins were born, that we'd be a family." "He told you about the twins?" "He said it was complicated, that you used the pregnancy to trap him, that he'd never wanted children with you." Vanessa wiped her eyes. "I believed every word, because I wanted to, because he made me feel like I was the only person who understood him." Classic narcissist behavior. Claire had read about it all night. The laces, the manipulation, making each woman believe she was special while trash-talking the other. "What changed?" Claire asked. "The night you went into labor. Derek told me he was going to see his lawyer, that he was filing for divorce, that he'd finally be free." Vanessa's hands shook. "We were at dinner, celebrating. Then his phone started ringing. Over and over, he ignored it, said it was you being dramatic, trying to manipulate him into staying." Claire's stomach turned. "I was dying. I know, I didn't know then, but I know now." Vanessa pulled out her phone. "After dinner, I checked his texts. He'd left his phone on the table. I saw the messages from the hospital, from your friend, from Nathan Grayson, all of them begging him to come. But he didn't. No, he ordered more champagne, said you were fine, that you always made everything about you, that this was just another ploy for attention." narcissistic abuse, making the victim's medical emergency about him, painting her as manipulative while he abandoned her. When did you realize the truth? Claire asked. The next morning, I saw the news. Saw Nathan Grayson's name attached to your medical bills. Started digging, found the bank statements, the forged signatures, the debt. Vanessa looked up. He stole from you. Everything. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. Would it have mattered if you did? The question hung between them. Harsh. Fair. I want to say yes, Vanessa whispered. I want to say I'd have walked away if I'd known. But honestly, I don't know. I was in love with a fantasy, with the man he pretended to be, not the man he actually is. And now? Now I'm 6 months pregnant, alone, terrified, realizing that the man I loved is a stranger, a narcissist who used both of us. Vanessa's voice hardened, and I'm done being used. What are you saying? I'm saying I'll testify at the custody hearing about the lies, the manipulation, about him sitting at dinner while you died. Vanessa met Claire's eyes. He doesn't deserve those babies. He doesn't deserve you, and he sure as hell doesn't deserve me. Claire studied her, looking for an angle, a manipulation, finding only the same anger she felt. He'll destroy you, Claire said. Derek doesn't lose gracefully. He'll make you the villain and tell everyone you seduced him, trapped him with a pregnancy. Let him try. I have evidence. Texts, emails, voice recordings of him talking about you, about the forgeries, about his plans. Vanessa pulled out a flash drive. Everything's on here. My lawyer says it's damning. You have a lawyer? Tom Sullivan, your lawyer. He reached out yesterday, said you might need allies. Vanessa smiled slightly. He's very thorough and very angry on your behalf. Tom, of course, always 3 steps ahead. Why are you doing this? Claire asked. Really, what do you get out of helping me? Honestly? Vanessa's hand moved to her belly. I'm having a daughter, and someday she'll ask about her father. I want to tell her the truth, that I did the right thing, that I protected another mother and her babies, that I chose women supporting women over protecting a man who deserved nothing. Women supporting women. The words hit different. Claire had spent 5 days hating Vanessa, imagining her as a villain, a homewrecker, the enemy. But looking at her now, Claire saw only another victim, another woman manipulated by Derek's charm and lies, another person facing single motherhood because of his narcissistic delusion. Okay, Claire said. Okay, we'll work together, we'll bury him. Vanessa's shoulders sagged with relief. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. This is going to get ugly. Derek won't go down without a fight. Let him fight. He's fighting 2 pregnant women with nothing to lose. Vanessa's smile turned sharp. And we have Nathan Grayson funding the whole operation. Derek doesn't stand a chance. Wow. She was right. Derek was facing criminal charges for fraud, divorce proceedings, custody battle, and now his mistress turning on him. His carefully constructed world was collapsing. And Claire felt nothing. No satisfaction. No revenge high. Just cold, clear certainty that justice was coming. There's something else, Vanessa said hesitantly. Something you should know about Derek and his mother. Margaret, and what about her? She knew about us, about the affair. She encouraged it. Claire's blood went cold. What? Derek told her about me 6 months ago, showed her pictures. Margaret said I was a better fit, that you were too independent, too career-focused, that I'd make a better wife. Vanessa looked sick. She gave him advice on how to hide the affair, how to move money without you noticing. She helped him plan this. The betrayal cut deeper. Margaret had smiled at Claire, attended baby showers, helped decorate the nursery, all while knowing Derek was destroying their marriage. I'm going to ruin her, Claire said quietly. Not just Derek, her too. Tom's already on it. Apparently conspiracy to commit fraud is a crime. So is aiding identity theft. Vanessa slid the flash drive across the table. There are voicemails on there. Margaret coaching Derek on what to say if you found out. How to gaslight you. How to make you doubt yourself. Claire pocketed the flash drive. Thank you for this, for all of it. We should have been on the same side from the start. Vanessa stood carefully. I'm sorry it took your near-death experience for me to wake up. You're awake now, that's what matters. They parted ways. Claire headed back to the NICU, found Nathan reading to Grace and Henry through the incubator. Some children's book about brave little animals. How'd it go? He asked. Better than expected. Vanessa's testifying against Derek, and she has evidence, lots of it. Good. Nathan closed the book. Tom called. The custody hearing is scheduled for next week. Derek's lawyer is pushing for joint custody, claiming you're mentally unstable. Of course he is. Classic narcissist move. Project his instability onto me. Won't work. We have hospital records, psychiatric evaluations, character witnesses, and now Vanessa's testimony. Nathan smiled. Derek's going to lose everything. His freedom, his children, his reputation. Is it wrong that I don't feel bad about it? Not even a little bit. He made his choices. Now he lives with the consequences. Claire looked down at her babies, Grace asleep, Henry watching her with those dark, alert eyes. I want sole custody, Claire said, not joint, sole. Derek gets supervised visitation only. I don't want him alone with them. Ever. Tom's already drafting it. Given the abandonment, the fraud, and the pending criminal charges, you'll get it. Judge would be crazed to rule otherwise. And the money? The debt? Forgiven. All of it. The house is yours. I'm setting up a trust for Grace and Henry's education. Derek won't touch a dime. Nathan, don't. He held up a hand. Don't argue, don't thank me. Just accept it. Let me do this. Why you here? Why are you doing all of this? Nathan was quiet for a long time. Because 5 years ago, I sat in a hospital alone watching my daughter die. No one came, no one helped. And I swore that if I ever saw someone in that position again, I'd show up. I'd be the person I needed. I'm not your daughter. No, but they are someone's daughter and son, and they deserve better than what I got. Better than what Derek tried to give them. Nathan looked at Grace and Henry. I can't save Sophia, but I can save them. And you. So let me. Claire nodded, unable to speak past the lump in her throat. There's something else, Nathan said. I wanted to run it by you first, before I did anything. What? I bought Derek's company, Bennett Development, the whole thing. It was hemorrhaging money anyway, easy acquisition. Claire's breath caught. You bought his company? And I'm shutting it down. Liquidating assets. His employees will get severance. His clients will be transitioned to competitors. But Derek? Nathan's smile turned cold. Derek gets nothing. No growth, no income, no way to pay for his fancy lawyer or his mistress or his lifestyle. That's brutal. That's justice. He used his company to steal from you. Forged your signature on corporate documents. Used business accounts to hide assets. He turned his career into a weapon against you. So I'm taking it away. What if he sues? Let him. I have 5 lawyers who'd love to argue this in court, especially when we show how he used company funds for his affair, for hotels and dinners with Vanessa. That's fraud, embezzlement. The board will eat him alive. Claire looked at her babies, at Nathan, at the life she was building from the ashes of her marriage. Do it, she said. Take everything. Leave him with nothing but the consequences of his choices. Already done. Papers were filed this morning. Derek should be getting the notification right about... Nathan's phone buzzed. Now. They sat in silence, waiting. 30 seconds later, Claire's phone exploded. 10 calls, 20 texts. All from Derek. How dare you? This is illegal. You can't do this. I'll sue you. Ruined my life. Claire blocked the number. He's spiraling. Good, let him spiral. The more unstable he acts, the better for our custody case. Nathan stood. I need to make some calls. You okay here? I'm perfect. Nathan left. Claire moved between the incubators, put her hands inside, let Grace and Henry grip her fingers. Your daddy's a narcissist, she told them softly, and he tried to destroy us, but we're stronger. We're survivors, and we're going to build a life he can't touch, I promise. Grace squeezed tighter. Henry's eyes drifted closed, and for the first time in days, Claire felt something other than fear. She felt hope. 3 in the morning. Hospital room dark except for the glow of Claire's phone. She should sleep. Her body needed rest. The babies needed her strong, but sleep wouldn't come. Claire scrolled through her photo albums. 8 years of marriage. Hundreds of pictures, every single one now tainted by truth. Their wedding. She'd looked so happy, so stupidly, blindly happy. Derek's smile looked real. Was it real, or had he been pretending even then? Their honeymoon in Greece, his arm around her on the beach, she'd thought they were building forever. He'd probably been thinking about escape routes. The day she told him about the pregnancy, his face in that photo, she'd read it as surprise. Now she saw it clearly. Fear, resentment, trapped. First ultrasound, twins, her joy. His panic badly disguised as excitement. Baby shower, Margaret helping her open gifts. Both of them smiling. Both of them liars. The last photo, taken 3 days before Claire went into labor. Her hand on her massive belly. Derek standing beside her, not touching her, not looking at her, already gone. Delete? Claire's finger hovered over the button. Delete it all. Erase 8 years. Pretend Derek Bennett never happened. But she couldn't. These photos were evidence. Proof that she'd been real even when he wasn't. Proof that she'd loved genuinely while he'd performed. She closed the album. Opened Instagram instead. Vanessa's account. Private now, but Claire had been following back when Vanessa was just Derek's assistant. Back when Claire was kind and trusting and blind. Old posts told the story Claire had missed. Vanessa at a conference 9 months ago. Derek in the background. His hand on her back. Vanessa at Claire and Derek's house 8 months ago. Best boss ever, the caption. Claire had been at her mother's that weekend. Derek said he was working. He'd been working, just not at the office. Vanessa wearing earrings 7 months ago. The same earrings. The ones Derek claimed were for Claire's birthday. Claire never got those earrings. How many people knew? How many saw these photos and said nothing? How many watched Claire's marriage implode and stayed silent? Her phone showed 27 missed calls now. Derek, Margaret, unknown numbers. Voicemails piling up. Claire listened to one. Derek's voice panicked. Claire, please. You have to call Nathan off. He's destroying everything. I'll lose the company, the house, everything. Please, for the kids. Think about Grace and Henry. They need their father. The manipulation, the audacity. Playing the kids card after abandoning them. Delete. Next voicemail, Margaret. Claire, dear, I know you're hurt, but you're not thinking clearly. Postpartum hormones can make us irrational. Derek loves you. He made mistakes, but we all deserve forgiveness. Those babies need their father. Their grandmother, please. Let's talk like rational adults. Rational adults, like Claire was the problem. Like her anger was unreasonable. Delete. Unknown number? Mrs. Bennett, this is Jessica from Channel 7 News. We're running a story about Nathan Grayson's involvement in your medical emergency. We'd love your comment on the nature of your relationship. There are rumors, of course. Derek's lawyer was already building the narrative. Unstable wife, billionaire lover, inappropriate relationship. Claire turned off her phone, stared at the ceiling. Let the dark thoughts come. What if she called Derek? What if she apologized? Made herself smaller, quieter, easier. The house was hers now, but for how long? Nathan could change his mind. Take it back. Leave her with nothing. The babies needed their father, didn't they? Even a bad father was better than no father. Right? Maybe she'd overreacted. Maybe the affair wasn't that bad. People made mistakes. Vanessa was young, pretty uncomplicated. Maybe Claire had driven Derek away with her independence, her career, her refusal to make him the center of her universe. Her hand moved to her phone. Contacts, Derek's number still saved despite the block. One call, one conversation. Maybe they could fix this, maybe... No, Claire said it out loud, to the empty room, to herself. No, I know what I saw. I know what he did. He stole from me. He lied to me. He abandoned me while I died. The words steadied her, reminded her this wasn't hormones or overreaction or postpartum instability. This was truth. Cold, hard, undeniable truth. Derek was a narcissist, an abuser, a criminal, and she was a survivor. Starting over feels impossible. Claire whispered to the darkness. But staying would be worse. I'd rather be broke and alone than married to a man who sees me as property. The words settled in her chest. True. Final. She wouldn't call Derek, wouldn't apologize, wouldn't make herself small for his comfort. She'd stay big, stay angry, stay strong. For Grace, for Henry, for herself. Morning came eventually, gray light through the windows, nurse knocking softly. Mrs. Bennett, the babies are asking for you. Claire smiled despite everything. Babies can't ask for anything. They're 5 days old. Their heart rates spike when they hear your voice. That's asking in baby language. Claire dragged herself upright. Every muscle ached. The surgical incision pulled. Her eyes burned from no sleep. But her babies needed her. So she went. Grace and Henry in their incubators, both awake, both watching the door like they'd been waiting. Hi, my loves, Claire whispered. Both babies' heart rates immediately steadied. Mama's here. Mama's always here. She spent 2 hours doing kangaroo care. Grace first, then Henry, skin to skin, hearts beating together, breathing synchronized. This was worth fighting for. Mrs. Bennett, Dr. Carter appeared. Can we talk? Claire's stomach dropped. Are they okay? They're perfect, better than perfect. Carter smiled. They're ready to try feeding, bottle first since they're still small, but they're showing all the signs of being ready. Really? Hope flared. That's fast, isn't it? For 32 weekers? Very fast. They're strong, like their mother. They tried with Grace first. Tiny bottle, 2 ounces of formula. Grace latched immediately, drinking like she'd been waiting her whole 5-day life for this moment. Look at her go, the nurse said. Natural talent. Henry was trickier. Took 3 tries, but finally latched. Drinking slower than Grace, but drinking. Claire watched them eat. These tiny humans she'd made, who'd survived against odds, who were thriving despite everything. If they keep this up, Dr. Carter said, we can talk about discharge in 3 weeks instead of 6. 3 weeks. Not tomorrow, not soon, but sooner. Light at the end of the tunnel. What do I need to do? Claire asked. Keep doing what you're doing. Kangaroo care, talking to them. Being present. Your involvement is helping them heal faster. Your involvement, unlike Derek, who hadn't visited once since that first disastrous appearance. The custody hearing was in 2 days. Tom was ready. Vanessa was ready. Nathan had mobilized an army of lawyers. Derek didn't stand a chance. But still, the fear crept in. What if the judge sided with him anyway? What if they believed his lies? What if Claire lost her babies to the man who'd abandoned them? Stop, she told herself. Stop spiraling. Mrs. Bennett? Nathan appeared in the doorway. Can I steal you for lunch? Claire looked at the nurse. Can I leave them? For an hour, absolutely. They're stable. We'll call if anything changes. Reluctantly, Claire left her babies, followed Nathan to the cafeteria. Real food, not hospital vending machine chips. You look terrible, Nathan said bluntly. Thanks, that's exactly what every woman wants to hear. I mean, you look exhausted. When's the last time you slept? Real sleep? Claire thought about it. I don't know. Days ago. That's not sustainable. You need rest. I need my babies healthy. I need Derek in prison. I need this divorce finalized. I need... Her voice broke. Nathan reached across the table, took her hand. You need to breathe. Just breathe. Claire breathed. In, out, in, out. The hearing is in 2 days, Nathan continued. Tom is ready. We have everything. Hospital records, financial documents, Vanessa's testimony, character witnesses, Derek's own text as evidence. The judge would have to be insane to rule in his favor. But what if, no what ifs, we deal with reality. And reality is that Derek abandoned you, stole from you, committed multiple felonies. He's done. His lawyer is desperately trying to build a defense that doesn't exist. The best he can hope for is supervised visitation. And even that's a stretch given the criminal charges. Claire wanted to believe him, but the fear wouldn't let go. What if I'm not enough? The question came out small. What if I can't do this alone? Single mother to twins, no job right now, no savings. dependent on your charity. Stop. Nathan's grip tightened. First, it's not charity, it's support. There's a difference. Second, you're not alone. You have Becca, Tom, your mother, me, an entire team of people who want you to succeed. For how long? How long before you all get tired of broken Claire and move on? I lost my daughter 5 years ago. I visit her grave every week. I've never gotten tired of grieving her. I'll never get tired of helping you. Nathan's voice went soft. You're not broken, Claire. You're healing. And healing takes time. Tears came, hot and unstoppable. I'm so tired. I know. I'm so angry. Good. Anger means you're fighting. I want him to suffer. He will. Trust me. He will. They sat in silence, Claire crying, Nathan holding her hand, not judging, not fixing, just present. Finally, Claire wiped her eyes. Sorry, postpartum hormones. Don't apologize. And don't blame hormones. You're allowed to feel everything you're feeling. Even the dark stuff, the revenge fantasies, especially those, as long as you don't act on them. Leave the revenge to lawyers and judges. They're much better at it. Claire laughed, watery. When did you become wise? When Sophia died and I had to learn to live anyway. Nathan smiled sadly. Grief teaches you things, so does betrayal. You'll come out the other side different, but not broken. Promise? Promise. They finished lunch, headed back to the NICU. Claire's phone buzzed. Name. Derek's lawyer just filed a motion to delay the hearing. Claims you're not mentally fit. We're fighting it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Right. But looking at her babies through the plastic, Claire felt something shift. Worry wouldn't change anything. Fear wouldn't protect them. Only strength would. Only fighting would. So she'd fight. For Grace, for Henry, for herself, and she'd win. The courthouse smelled like old paper and broken families. Claire sat in the hallway outside Judge Morrison's courtroom, flanked by Tom and Nathan. Her hands shook despite practicing her testimony for days. Just tell the truth, Tom murmured. That's all you need to do. The courtroom doors opened. Derek emerged with his lawyer, a slick man in an expensive suit. Derek looked terrible, unshaven, wrinkled shirt, eyes wild. Their gazes met across the hallway. Derek opened his mouth. Don't, Nathan warned. Restraining order. You speak to her, you're in violation. Derek's lawyer pulled him back into a conference room. Claire exhaled. Inside the courtroom, Judge Morrison sat waiting, a woman in her 60s with steel gray hair and sharp eyes. We're here for emergency custody hearing in the matter of Bennett versus Bennett, Judge Morrison said. Mr. Sullivan, proceed. Tom stood. Your Honor, this case is about abandonment, fraud, and the safety of 2 newborn babies. Claire Bennett nearly died during an emergency C-section. Her husband, Derek Bennett, ignored 25 phone calls from hospital staff while he dined with his mistress. Nathan Grayson had to sign consent forms because Mr. Bennett chose champagne over his dying wife and babies. Objection, Derek's lawyer jumped up. Inflammatory language. Overruled. Continue, Mr. Sullivan. Since that night, we've discovered Mr. Bennett forged his wife's signature on multiple financial documents, stole over $400,000 from their joint savings, and accumulated $2.3 million in fraudulent debt under my client's name. Federal charges are pending for wire fraud and identity theft. Judge Morrison's eyebrows rose. Tom handed over bank statements, credit card applications, loan documents, all with Claire's forged signature. Your Honor, Derek's lawyer interjected, my client admits he made mistakes. He panicked during a medical emergency, but he loves his children, and Mrs. Bennett is not without blame. She's suffering from severe postpartum depression. She's financially destitute, relying entirely on Nathan Grayson for support. We question her mental stability and her inappropriate relationship with Mr. Grayson. Do you have evidence of postpartum depression? Judge Morrison asked. Your Honor, it's obvious. Her behavior, that's speculation, not evidence. The judge looked at Claire. Mrs. Bennett, have you been diagnosed with postpartum depression? Claire stood. No, Your Honor. I've been evaluated by hospital psychiatrists 3 times. I'm grieving my marriage. I'm angry at betrayal, but I'm not depressed or unstable. Tom handed over psychiatric evaluations. Judge Morrison read and nodded. What about her relationship with Nathan Grayson? Derek's lawyer pressed. Living in his house. Taking his money. I'm not living in his house, Claire said firmly. I'm living in my house. The house Nathan bought from the bank after my husband mortgaged it fraudulently. Nathan forgave the debt and put the deed in my name. As a gift. Nothing more. Nathan stood. May I speak, Your Honor? Proceed, Mr. Grayson. I have no romantic relationship with Claire Bennett. I met her once for the medical emergency. When her husband abandoned her, her friend called me because she was desperate, and I'd said to call if she ever needed help. I showed up because it was the right thing to do. Why? Judge Morrison asked. Why involve yourself so deeply? Nathan's jaw tightened. I had a daughter, Sophia. She was born prematurely 5 years ago, lived 6 days. I sat in a NICU alone because my wife left me in my grief. I swore if I ever saw someone alone like that, I'd show up, so I did. The courtroom went silent. Your Honor, Tom continued, we have another witness. The petitioner calls Vanessa Hartley. The doors opened. Vanessa entered, 6 months pregnant, looking terrified but determined. Derek's face went white. Miss Hartley, Tom began, what is your relationship to Derek Bennett? I'm his mistress, and I'm pregnant with his child. Gasps echoed through the courtroom. How long have you been involved with Mr. Bennett? 14 months. Vanessa testified about the lies, the manipulation, about Derek sitting at dinner while Claire died, about finding bank statements and forged signatures, about realizing Derek had lied about everything. I have texts from Derek, Vanessa said, talking about how he'd hide assets from Claire, how he'd make her look unstable in court. I have voicemails from his mother, Margaret, coaching him on what to say. I have everything. Judge Morrison reviewed the evidence, her expression growing darker with each page. Mr. Bennett, the judge said finally, did you forge your wife's signature on financial documents? Derek stood. I was desperate? Yes or no? Yes, but did you ignore phone calls from the hospital while your wife was in medical distress? Yes. Did you steal money from joint accounts? Yes, but Claire doesn't understand business. By committing fraud? Judge Morrison removed her glasses. Mr. Bennett, I've presided over family court for 30 years. I've seen parents make mistakes, real mistakes born of fear and exhaustion. This isn't that. You had 17 missed calls while your wife coded, 17 opportunities to choose your family. You chose champagne instead. Derek sank into his chair. Sole custody is awarded to Claire Bennett. Mr. Bennett, you will have supervised visitation only, 1 hour per week, pending psychological evaluation and restitution of stolen funds. Child support will be set at $2,000 per month. This court also orders you to undergo narcissistic personality evaluation. Furthermore, I'm issuing a permanent restraining order. You may not contact Claire Bennett except through lawyers. Violation will result in immediate arrest. The gavel came down. Court is adjourned. Claire couldn't breathe. She'd won. Sole custody. Derek reduced to 1 supervised hour per week. Tom pulled her into a hug. You did it. You protected them. Vanessa approached hesitantly. I meant what I said. I'm sorry. Thank you for choosing the truth, Claire managed. Women supporting women. Always, Vanessa said. Derek tried to approach. Security blocked him. He shouted from across the courtroom, this isn't over. I'll appeal. Mr. Bennett, leave now or I'll hold you in contempt, Judge Morrison warned. Derek left, dragged away by his lawyer. Outside, media swarmed. Tom cleared a path. They made it to Nathan's car and drove away. I can't believe it's over, Claire said. The custody battle is won, Tom said gently. Grace and Henry are yours. Claire stared out the window. She'd survived. Not just the medical crisis, not just the betrayal, but the system itself. Truth won, justice won, she won, and Derek lost everything. Exactly as he deserved. Grace squealed as Nathan lifted her into the air. 6 months old now, 9 pounds of personality and dark curls. Henry watched from his bouncer, grinning his new two-tooth smile. Higher, Grace demanded. She's going to be trouble, Claire said from the kitchen doorway. She already is. Nathan brought Grace down for a raspberry on her belly. She shrieked with laughter. Claire watched them. Nathan had been coming over daily for months, reading to the twins, helping with bottles, attending pediatrician appointments, never asking, just showing up, like he'd promised. The house smelled like home now, baby powder and coffee and the lasagna Elena had dropped off. Tom called, Claire said. Divorce is final as of today. Nathan looked up. How do you feel? Free? The word came easily, truthfully. Derek signed everything, didn't even fight. Guess federal prison has a way of making you cooperative. Derek had been sentenced 3 months ago. 5 years for fraud and identity theft. He'd serve at least 3 before parole. By the time he got out, Grace and Henry would barely remember him. What about Vanessa? Nathan asked. Good. Her daughter Lily was born last month. She's beautiful. Claire smiled. We actually meet for coffee sometimes. Talk about single motherhood. It's weird but good. Women supporting women, Nathan said. Exactly. Claire poured coffee. She's going back to school. Marketing degree. I told her I'd write a recommendation. Nathan settled Grace in her play yard beside Henry. Both immediately grabbed for the same toy. They're fighters, Nathan observed. They get it from their mother. Claire joined him on the floor. 6 months since that terrible night. 6 months since she almost died. Since Derek abandoned them. Since Nathan showed up and changed everything. Thank you for still being here, Claire said quietly. Where else would I be? Nathan, she waited until he looked at her. You don't owe us anything. If you want to step back, live your life, we'll be okay. Is that what you want? For me to step back? No. The admission felt huge. But I don't want you to feel trapped or obligated. I signed up the moment I walked into that hospital. Nathan's hand found hers. I'm not going anywhere, Claire, unless you want me to. I don't want you to. Then I'm staying. Grace threw her toy at Nathan's head. Direct hit. Henry laughed hysterically. The doorbell rang. Becca appeared with Tom and champagne. Emergency delivery. We're celebrating, Becca announced. Celebrating what? Your financial independence. Tom handed Claire an envelope. Remember Derek's company, Bennett Development? Nathan liquidated it. The assets were worth more than expected. After paying employees and settling debts, there's a surplus. This is yours. Claire opened it, stared. $1.8 million. This can't be right. It's right. Derek built that company using your money, your forged signatures, your credit. Legally, the assets belong to you. Nathan made sure of it. $1.8 million. Financial independence. Security for Grace and Henry. Freedom from fear. I can start my business, Claire whispered. The marketing consultancy I always wanted. I can save for college. You can breathe, Becca finished. You can stop worrying. Becca popped the cork, poured glasses, raised hers high. To Claire Bennett, who survived narcissistic abuse, medical trauma, and Derek's manipulation, who got sole custody, financial independence, and her life back. Who's raising 2 incredible babies and building a future Derek can't touch? To Claire, Nathan echoed. To me, Claire said, and to midlife transformation. To women supporting women. To winning the divorce settlement I deserved. They drank. Claire let the champagne burn her throat, let the celebration sink in. She'd done it, against impossible odds, against a system designed to favor men like Derek, against narcissistic abuse that tried to convince her she was crazy. She'd won. Grace started crying. Henry joined immediately. I've got them. Nathan scooped both babies into his arms. You finished celebrating. He disappeared into the nursery. Claire watched him go. He's in love with you, Becca said quietly. I know. Are you? Not yet, but maybe someday. Claire smiled. First, I need to remember who I am, what I want, who I want to be. That night, after everyone left, Claire sat in the nursery. Grace and Henry asleep in their cribs. Both perfect. She opened her laptop, started writing. Claire Bennett Consulting, helping small businesses build authentic marketing strategies. The business plan came easily. Services, pricing, target market. She'd been thinking about this for years. Derek always said it was too risky, But Derek was in prison, and Claire was free. Her phone buzzed. Prison email system. Derek. Claire, I'm sorry for everything, for destroying you, for abandoning our kids. I don't expect forgiveness, just wanted you to know I'm getting help. Therapy, trying to be better. Derek, Claire read it twice. Felt nothing, no satisfaction, no forgiveness, just emptiness where Derek used to live. I don't forgive you, she said to the empty room. You're a stranger who hurt me, and now you're paying for it. She deleted the email, blocked the number. Grace stirred. Claire lifted her gently. Grace's hand gripped Claire's finger. You're safe, Claire whispered. Daddy can't hurt us anymore. We're free. And we're going to build something amazing. Grace's eyes drifted closed, but her grip stayed firm, holding on, just like her mother. Grace and Henry toddled around Claire's home office. 12 months old now, walking, talking, tiny humans with massive personalities. Claire's laptop showed her business dashboard. Month 12, revenue up 40%, 5 steady clients, 3 new prospects. Claire Bennett, consulting was thriving. Mama, Henry appeared at the door holding a wooden block. Look, that's amazing, buddy. Can you show me after Mama's meeting? Okay. He toddled off. Claire's video call started. Her client, a boutique hotel owner in California. Claire, the campaign results are incredible. Engagement up 50%, bookings up 30%. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. After the call, Claire checked her bank account. The balance still shocked her. 1.8 million from Derek's liquidated company, carefully invested. Monthly income from consulting work. She was building wealth, security, a future. The doorbell rang. Nathan's signature knock. It's open. He entered with grocery bags. I brought dinner, Thai food. Grace and Henry immediately swarmed him. Nathan, Nathan. Hey, troublemakers. He scooped them both up. Who wants airplane rides? Me, they shrieked in unison. Nathan carried them to the living room. Claire followed, watching him play with her children. He'd been here almost every day for a year, never pushing, just present. She'd fallen in love with him somewhere between month 6 and month 9. Slowly, carefully, not the desperate love she'd felt for Derek. This was steady, solid, built on trust and actions. Nathan, she said when the twins were distracted, can we talk? His face went careful. That sounds serious. A year ago I told you to wait, to ask me properly when I was ready. She took a breath. I'm ready. Nathan went very still. Ready for what? For you to ask me out, on a real date. Claire, but first I need to know, are you still interested? Because I'm a single mother to twins. I've run my own business. I have baggage and trust issues and probably years of therapy ahead. You were always complicated. Nathan's hand found hers. That's what I love about you. Love. He'd said it casually, but Claire heard it land between them. Heavy, real. You love me? I've loved you for months, probably since you stood up to Margaret and told her exactly what kind of mother raises a narcissist, but I wasn't going to say it until you were ready to hear it. I'm ready to hear it. Good, because I love you, Claire Bennett. I love your strength. I love how you rebuilt your life from ashes. I love watching you with Grace and Henry. Claire's throat tightened. I love you too. I think I have for a while. I was just scared. Of what? Of this being like Derek. Of you changing. Of trusting someone again and getting destroyed. I'm not Derek. Nathan's voice went firm. I'll never be Derek. I show up. I stay. I choose you. Every single day. Grace climbed onto the couch. Hungry? Dinner's ready, Nathan said. Thai food. No Thai, Grace announced. Nuggets. We had nuggets yesterday, Claire said. More nuggets, Nathan laughed. I guess we're having nuggets. They made nuggets, fed the twins, put on a Disney movie. Grace fell asleep on Nathan's lap. Henry on Claire's. This is nice, Claire said softly. What is? This. Us. A family. She paused. Is that too fast? No, I've thought of us as family for months. After the movie, they put the twins to bed. stood in the doorway watching them drift off. "When do you want to go on that date?" Nathan asked quietly. "Saturday?" Becca offered to babysit. "Saturday works. Where do you want to go?" "Somewhere nice with cloth napkins and no chicken nuggets on the menu." "I know just the place." They walked back to the living room, sat on the couch, not quite touching, almost. "Nathan, I need to tell you something about Derek." "Okay." "He called last month from prison, begging to see the kids when he gets out, asking for forgiveness." "What did you say?" "That he gets his one supervised hour per week, nothing more, that I don't forgive him and probably never will." She looked at Nathan. "Does that make me heartless?" "No, it makes you smart. Forgiving abusers doesn't heal you. It just gives them permission to hurt you again." "That's what my therapist said." "You're seeing a therapist?" Nathan smiled. "That's good." "Yeah, working through the narcissistic abuse, the gaslighting, learning to trust my instincts again." Claire leaned against him. "It's hard, realizing how much Derek damaged me." "You see it now, that's what matters." They sat in silence, comfortable, easy. With Derek, silence was tense. With Nathan, silence was peace. "Thank you for everything," Claire said. "For saving me, for staying, for loving my kids like they're yours. They're the best parts of you. How could I not love them? Genetics don't make family. Love does." "Exactly." Claire closed her eyes, let herself believe it. She was free. Derek was in prison. The twins were hers. Her business was thriving. Nathan loved her. She'd won her midlife transformation. Her divorce settlement gave her financial independence. Her healing gave her herself back. "Saturday night," she said. "Pick me up at 7. It's a date. Our first real date, after a year of friendship. Best foundation for a relationship. I want to try, slowly, carefully. Then we'll try, slow, careful, at your pace. Not bad for 1 year. Not bad at all." Saturday evening. Claire stood in her bedroom, trying on dresses. Nothing felt right. "Just pick one," she told her reflection. "It's Nathan. He won't care." But she cared. This was their first official date after 13 months of friendship. She chose the navy dress. Simple, elegant. Becca arrived at 6:30. "Tom's with the twins. I'm here for makeup." "I can do my own." "Yes, but I do it better." "Sit." Becca transformed her from tired mom to woman going on date. "You're nervous," Becca observed, terrified. "You've known Nathan for over a year. You love him. He loves you. This should be easy." "What if I've forgotten how to date?" "You've been through hell. You've survived narcissistic abuse. You've rebuilt your entire life. You can handle one dinner." Becca stepped back. "Done. Look." The woman in the mirror looked strong, beautiful, ready. Nathan was pacing outside. Black suit, flowers. She opened the door. His pacing stopped. "Wow," Nathan said. "You look incredible." He handed her roses. Red, classic. Becca appeared with the twins. "Say bye to Mama." "Bye, Mama," Grace waved. "Have fun." Claire kissed her babies. Left before she could change her mind. The restaurant was perfect. Dim lighting, cloth napkins, no chicken nuggets in sight. "Can I ask you something?" Nathan said between courses. "Always." "What changed? You weren't ready 6 months ago. What made you ready?" "I started seeing myself clearly. Not through Derek's lens, not as his victim, just as myself, Claire, mother, business owner, survivor, whole person." "And what did you see?" "Someone strong, someone who deserves love that doesn't hurt." She met his eyes. "Someone who's ready to try again." Nathan reached across the table. "I'll keep choosing you, every day, for as long as you'll let me." They finished dinner, walked to a nearby park, found a bench overlooking a fountain. "Claire, I need to tell you something," Nathan said carefully. "I bought a ring, months ago. It's sitting in my dresser drawer." Claire's breath caught. "A ring?" "An engagement ring, for you, eventually. Not now, not until you're ready. Maybe not for years, but I wanted you to know my intentions, where I see this going." Marriage. The word felt huge. "Eventually, if you want. No pressure, no timeline, just honesty." I'm scared, she admitted. I know. Derek destroyed me. What if I can't trust someone that way again? Then we don't get married. We just stay together. However you're comfortable. Nathan squeezed her hand. The ring doesn't matter. What matters is that we choose each other. Every day. You'd be okay with never getting married? If that's what you need, yes. The ring was hope, not pressure. Claire turned to him. This man who'd saved her life, who'd spent 13 months being patient while she healed. Ask me. Me, she said suddenly. What? Ask me to be your girlfriend, officially. Nathan smiled. Claire Bennett, will you be my girlfriend? Yes, absolutely yes. He kissed her. Finally, after 13 months of waiting, soft at first, then deeper. When they broke apart, both were breathless. Wow, Claire said. They stayed at the park until Claire's phone buzzed, Becca asking if she'd been kidnapped. I should get home. They drove back holding hands. At her door, Nathan kissed her goodnight, properly this time. Thank you for tonight, for everything, for being patient with my mess. You're not a mess. You're healing. There's a difference. I love you, Nathan Grayson. I love you too, Claire Bennett. Inside chaos, Grace had painted the living room with yogurt. Henry had emptied the dog's water bowl. Becca looked shell-shocked. How was your date? Becca asked weakly. Perfect. How was babysitting? Apocalyptic. I'm never having children. After Becca left, Claire cleaned, checked on the twins, found them sleeping peacefully. Her phone buzzed. Nathan, thank you for tonight, for saying yes, for giving us a chance. Thank you for waiting, for being patient, for loving me anyway. See you tomorrow? Tomorrow. Bring coffee. Claire lay in bed. Let herself imagine a future with Nathan, Grace and Henry calling him Dad. Maybe marriage someday, maybe not. But partnership, real partnership built on trust. It felt possible. For the first time since Derek destroyed her, forever felt possible again. 18 months after the hospital, Claire's business dashboard showed year 2. Revenue doubled. 10 steady clients, waiting lists for new ones. She'd become known in marketing circles, the woman who'd survived and thrived. Speaking invitations came monthly. Women's conferences, her story resonated. Abandoned pregnant wife becomes successful business owner. Classic midlife transformation. Grace and Henry toddled around, 18 months old, talking in full sentences. Mama Nafon coming? Grace asked. Yes, sweetie. Yay, both twins cheered. Nathan had proposed 3 months ago. Claire said yes, but asked for a long engagement. At least a year. She needed time. Nathan agreed immediately. No pressure, just love and patience. The ring sat on her finger now, a promise of eventually. That evening, Claire sat on the couch with Nathan. I've been thinking, she said carefully. About? Moving the wedding up, not waiting a year, maybe 6 months. Nathan went still. Really? Really, I'm ready. You've proved yourself. I trust you. I trust us. Nathan's arms tightened. Then 6 months it is. Small wedding? Just family and close friends. Perfect. They stayed like that for hours, planning, dreaming, building a future. Claire had won her divorce settlement, won custody, won her life back, and built something Derek could never touch. She'd won herself back. Everything else was just beautiful bonus.